We think Flora was short for Florence, and so that would maybe where the Florence name came from. But in 1866, he founded Florence. So.
Hey everybody, Randy here, and welcome aboard the Seabee Traveler Channel. Today we're heading into the historic Florence, Arizona. It's if you are a history buff and you like looking at old buildings and structures, this is definitely the place you'll want to come to. I've been here a couple times driving through. Maybe on the way to Tucson I'll drive through, or there's a couple neat places if I want to go take pictures. There's a Greek monastery out this way. Plus there's also some old Pueblo ruins out this way, the Casa Grande Pueblo ruins. But today I just wanted to go and take a look at the town itself, the downtown Main Street. It's late 1800s, 1860s is when it was founded, and the times I've been just driving through, I've seen a lot of places where you can stop and look at the old buildings, and they have little plaques that will show you what the building's about. So Florence is a little over an hour southeast of downtown Phoenix. So it's not too bad of a drive, depending on the traffic. And another thing this town is known for these days is all the prisons that are here. There's Homeland Security prisons, state prisons. There's like 9 different prisons down in just small little town. Like 17,000 inmates, and the population that live here is only 8,500. So you almost doubled. Well, you are doubled the amount of inmates to the town population. So I'd imagine the prison system adds a lot of economic boom here in the town. Alright, so here we are at Main Street. I'm going to take a right here, and I thought that we would just take a quick drive through Main Street, and on the other end of this street is an old church that I thought we might start the tour off on as I get out and walk around and start looking. Yeah, it's early, about 7:30 in the morning, so there's no traffic. It's nice. Yeah, it has this there's a drugstore, this old time feel. It just doesn't have the wooded walkways on the sidewalks. Like this old hardware store. It has an old feel, like maybe you're walking in an old Midwest town in the 60s. Wow. Oh, I see this old saloon. There's a mural up here. Check this mural out. Looks like it's blocking the lot where a building was, maybe burned down or something. There is a lot of construction going on where they're remodeling some of these old buildings. Let's see, this was an old hotel on the left up here. We'll stop, take a look at that. And this American Legion building on the right has a little bit of history. So we'll come back and take a look at the plaque that was on that building. On the left here at this intersection, that's where the McFarland State Park Museum is. And straight ahead of us is the post office. So we'll come back and take a look at all these as I'm walking around. First though, I need to make a couple turns, get back over to where the old church is, and I will see you over there. Alright, it's just right up here, and it is windy out there, so it's going to be a good test on the old microphone. But just look at this old church. I just love looking at these old buildings like this. Yeah, it's going to be a fun day for me. So let me get parked, I'll get set up, and we'll start looking around. All right, one of the first things I wanted to show you, let's come over here, let's take a look at this sign. Historic site. First site, first Catholic church in central Arizona. Built in 1870 by Father Andre. Let's see if I can reach out there a little bit, get you closer to the sign. Let's see, maybe that'll help. But yeah, this was the first Catholic church in central Arizona. Interesting. But let's come over here and take a look. So this is now a gift shop. Check this out. A cool old church. In memory of the Catholic family. I like this kind of construction. It's got the buttress style. Come back here real quick. Take a look at these trees. And they're all like that. They have that thing going on with them. I don't know what that is. Oh, that's weird. This one has it too, but at the base. And up there. Those are cool trees. Well, let's come back here and see what they have. Uh-oh, looks like one of the benches busted. I'm not Catholic, so I'm not sure what these are. Looks like there's benches. In loving memory. So these like memorials. And there's quite a few of them along through here. If you know what these are, I'd appreciate it if you can let me know. If it's just a place to sit down, get your thoughts, maybe get some prayers. But yeah, just let me know. I'd be interested to know what these are. But you can see there's quite a few of them in this little courtyard area. And this is the backside of the first church here in central Arizona that we looked at the sign. This is the backside. Wow, so cool. All the white paint, well groomed. It's cool back here. Let's go take a look at the big church. Like I was saying before, I like this type of construction. It has like the Santa Fe look, the Old West. I'm not sure if that's like really like some stained glass. It's cool. Looks like they poured a concrete lintel in there. Concrete windowsills. These windows are stained glass. That's a cool design. Like a marble. It'd be kind of hard to see that. It's almost like a marble look to them. That's pretty. I'm gonna try and find a plaque, see if there's any information for us. It's smart for them to slope this away from the building so when it does rain, water doesn't build up along the base. Oh, I see something over here. Maybe it'll... This is all brickwork. Nothing fancy up close. Let's see here. Church of the Assumption, 1911. There you go. Up close, the brick doesn't look impressive, but when you stand back, it is impressive overall. There's a sign over here. I think it's a historic sign. Tell us a little bit about it. Completed in 1912. Church of the Assumption. It's a mission revival style architecture. So replaced in this. So this was replaced. This one replaced the church that was originally built in 1884, which burned down in 1893. Cool. All right, let's see what this statue is over here. Pretty. All right. Well, there's a couple more buildings I wanted to stop by, take a closer look at. And they have these historical signs and all these older buildings. So I wanted to get a quick little look at some of them. So I will meet you at the next building. But we'll first one last look here. Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Catholic Church. I like that right there. All right, let's go. All right, here's another building I wanted to check out. Take a look at this from a good angle. I've seen this before. It has some really neat history to it. We'll come over here and read the sign. This two-story, a little closer, this two-story red brick commercial building was constructed in 1890. The bricks were locally made. In 1973, the exterior was altered and added the outside staircase was removed. So this is the oldest, this local landmark is the oldest two-story red brick building in Florence. So built in 1890, it's the oldest two-story building in Florence. See if I can get another view from it over here. View of it from over here. So a couple modifications over the years, but still you can kind of see, that's interesting to see, the middle of that building, the middle of that wall You can kind of see right there where something was taken away. That's probably where the stair was removed. There's probably a door right there to get into the building. That's the kind of stuff that I like to look for in buildings. And I think that back building back there was added later. Oh look, right over here is a community garden. I don't see that too often anymore. I'm gonna come over to this side of the street. Since we're over here, we'll check out this garden. Yeah, there's another view. Oldest building, oldest two-story building in Arizona. I mean, in Florence, sorry. Oh look, over here you can see where there was some more repair work. I just noticed that. So maybe there was a door here, but you can see the old brick and the new brick. Up there too. So maybe this is where the stair was, because there's another opening. Maybe these were the doors. It'd be interesting to see the original blueprints to this, to see what it looked like. Yeah, that'd be cool to see those blueprints. Well, maybe I'm dating myself, my age, because they don't use blueprints anymore. Everything's all digital, PDFs. That does save a lot of paper though, I know that. I've been in construction for a while, so I've seen the transition from blueprints to blue lines to black lines to everything is all digital PDF drawings now on iPads and the construction sites. But check out this garden. It's a community garden. How neat is that? I'm honestly glad to see that things like this still exist or still happen. Check out that scarecrow. I don't know, kind of looks like one of the looks like an escapee from The Prisoner on here. That's funny. But that's just me. I don't know. And see over here on this end, either they're gonna add a swing or they had a swing and it's not in working condition anymore. And it looks like there may be some sort of water feature back there too. I see some pipe back there. Maybe they're gonna get that in working order too. Well, good for them. I'm glad to see them doing that. All right, well, just around the corner here is another historic. I think you could walk around Florence all day and find historic buildings. It's just one of those locations. I like the blue trim on that beige wall. Jesus Martinez house, farmer from New Mexico, adobe house, 1872, completed in 1880. So it was a meat market store and residence about 1912, and then reconverted to a single residence. It's the best preserved and least altered Sonoran style structure in Florence. So there you go. And this is where that community garden is. But yeah, this looks really neat. Look at this. Take a walk down here. So this was the way to get into the back. I could imagine back then pulling a wagon through these gates, horse-drawn, little stable here. Yep, I could see that back then. And what do we have back here? That's just the back side. So there's more on the other side, maybe. Check this out, there's an old windmill here too. Yeah, I'd imagine that's where they would draw their water from. But let's see what's on this side over here. Oh, it's gonna be the courtyard. It's all fenced off. This is like a residence, but I don't want to get too invasive. I'm not sure if it is a residence or not. All right, well, it's a quick little walk around the Jesus Martinez house. But I'm gonna head back to the truck, and there's a couple more buildings I wanted to check out. I gotta change batteries, and then I will probably just walk around to see everything because it's all in close proximity. So yeah, I'm gonna change a couple batteries, and I will continue this little trip. This is a pretty neat little house. Small little house, and then you have a detached garage. Kind of reminds you of something you might see back in the 50s, early 60s. But as I was walking, I saw that. I thought that was pretty neat. The good old days. I came across this house. This is private property, so I'm not going to go too far into it, but it has a historic sign. I'm going to check that out. Get you as close as I can so I can read it. This is the Cosgrove House. The western portion of this adobe brick house was built for Frank and Isabel Cosgrove in 1878. It was originally had dirt floors and a Sonoran corner fireplace. In the 1890s, he Americanized the structure by adding central portion of the lean-to. So 1911, a brick veneer with window and door archways happened. And then the garage was added after 1916. Cool. Cosgrove House. See all sorts of stuff. So this was added on later to modernize it, to Americanize it. These arched windows. There's a side view of it. Cool. I like how they have that old wagon wheel in the front there, leaning up. Oh, and a pair of, I didn't notice that, a pair of like cross-country skis there too. Wow, look at the length of those skis. Holy cow. All right, let's move on to the next one. So literally, right next door to where we were just at is this house. And it was built in the early 1860s. Sonoran mud roof in the 1890s. It had swirl rib ceilings, are still intact and visible. Wow, I wonder if I can see inside there. And the building has been varied use as private dwelling, Chinese laundry, and offices listed in the National Register of Historic Places. It has a wall. Let's check this side out here. I saw something in this sign. I'm going to point it out to you. First, let me see if I can look inside here. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. No, you can't see it from here. But around this side, now you can see, I don't know how well it picks up, but this wall is not perpendicular to this wall. It's built at an angle. So they think it was added on from the original building before it was set up to the grids like they are now. Let's take a look down here. Look how thick these walls are. You can see how deep that door is, and how thick that is. Yeah, they would make adobe pretty thick, keep it nice and cool in the summer, warmer in the winter. Take a quick look at the other side of this. But you can see here, two exterior walls not parallel with respect to the other walls. And this indicates construction prior to the 1866 Ruggles street grid. See, that's what I wanted to see if it's on this side. So yeah, this you can kind of see it up there too. These two north and south walls are not, it's like a parallelogram. It's built like a parallelogram. And then we have over here, Houston, we have a problem. That tree is growing right into the roof. And the gutter system stopped right before it got there. That's cool. Very interesting. You can kind of see the knots in that tree too, how it's twisted as it's grown. Very interesting. And of course, I'm not even going to turn the camera off. Here's another historic site. Man, everywhere I turn, historic, historic, historic. Let's check out this sign. Looks like it's used, so I'm not going to go too far. 1880, he built a single-story Sonoran adobe-style house for his wife. He put it in her name according to Spanish tradition. So there you go. You take a quick look around this one. Just got like the traditional rounded sills and lintels. All right, what do we got here? This is the other side. So a little bit of repairs going on down there. But yeah, this is somebody's residence, so I'm not going to go too deep into this one. I see another building over here that got my attention. We'll check that one out. John Nicholas Saloon and Beer Hall. Let's see, it was the oldest standing fired brick building in Florence. So he moved his saloon to this building in 1889. So they had a steam-powered fan in there. That's how they were. That's how they were cooled off in the summer. So yeah, there was a fire brick. First brickyard opened in 1886. So they used the brick from that as soon as it opened to build this. So it was a saloon and beer hall. Let's take a quick look around. Did I see something else? Let's get another angle here. I like this end. Originally I thought it might have been like a garage door on that end, real skinny, but it's just a window at this point. I'm not sure what the original opening was for. It's cool art. And this one's still being used too. So that's what's nice, is a lot of these old buildings are being taken care of and preserved. So you can see the entrance down there. We'll walk around the other side real quick. But that's what I like, they're preserving these buildings. They're not just letting them fall apart and we'll lose that history. So well done, Florence, for doing this kind of stuff. Let's see what this is. Oh, here's the storm, looks like a storm cellar. Something you might see back in the Midwest. We don't get too many tornadoes in Arizona. But yeah, you can, that was their full basement that they used. Probably back then stored supplies. It was cooler down there. They did do that quite a lot. All right. Nobody coming across the street here. I saw another historic sign here. Let's see what this one was. It's a little bit harder to see through the trees, but we'll look at the sign. William Clark House, built for Silver King mining engineer in 1884. Cultural fusion of architecture. The Sonoran mud plastered adobe walls were combined with an elegant Victorian louvered bay window. And it's listed in the National Register of Historic Places as well. I have that bay window right there. Let me squeeze in through the gate. Better view. Yeah, so there's the bay window they talked about. Florence Reminder in Blade Tribune newspaper. So newspaper companies using it now. See, just another example of them using old buildings, keeping them going. All right, let's walk down here a little bit farther. I cannot seem to get out of Florence. I just love history like this, though. So yeah, you can see this town gives you the feel. It's like maybe walking down an old main street in the 50s or 60s. It's colorful. So checking this out. This kind of gives me the feel like I'm walking around in the 50s at an old main street looking for Christmas stuff in the windows. When I first saw this, I thought that's what it would be because of that old truck right here. But yeah, that's exactly what that reminded me of. It looks like it's some kind of hardware store now, but still it has that same feel. I just met somebody, Mike, and he was telling me about a couple buildings to look at here. So thanks for that information, Mike. I'm gonna go check out this old 2-story building that he was telling me about. I saw this one that doesn't look like it's doing so well, but I like this kind of building too. I wanted to see if I can find a sign to see maybe what this was. So there's a couple of buildings. It's maybe hopefully there's a sign to tell me. It has the feeling of a church. Or some sort of meeting hall. I'll check out this old added-on lean-to. Whoa, windy. Here you can see the plaster coming through the mesh on the inside. Oh, this is cool. A little bit of repairs over time, but it appears to be abandoned now. Yeah, you can tell it's old adobe because it's got the big old thick walls. Check out that doorway. Yeah, this is the kind of stuff I like to see. That's locked up. I'm not gonna go in there. That's kind of a cool picture right there, huh? All the shapes, squares and rectangles, shades of gray. Yep, that's a good picture. We'll see if I can't take that one. I got that picture. I didn't have my camera with me right this second, so I grabbed that with my GoPro. I'm going to show that to you. I'll be interested to see how that turns out. But yeah, this is really neat. This is up my alley too. I don't see a plaque though to let me know what it was. It's got to be one of those. Oh look, here in this wall, something. Maybe weeds growing up through the floor into that. But that's interesting. All right, I'm gonna walk down this back alley to get to that building he was talking about. That has definitely the old school feel to it. Like maybe here's a historic sign. We'll take a quick look at this. So one of the first original blacksmiths, he built this. He used log beams, saguaro ribs, mud is well preserved. In 1899, and in 1910 he turned wood posts to support timber framed hip roof veranda. So that's these are the original posts he turned back in 1910 it was. And then check this out. A Union spy, Pauline Cushman and her husband bought this. And then silent movie star Tom Mix was a tenant here in 1930s. That is interesting. No trespassing. I can't go in, but I really like these posts. It just really sticks out. Let me see if I can look in a window here at least. See what it looks like inside. Well, maybe you can see inside there. Kind of looks like they're outside of the house, but that's all inside. Little porch area. See, block some of this out. Hopefully that comes out. I do like the detail on this little porch that was built. They continued those posts. Let me see if I can walk around here. See what the back of this looks like. Yeah, cool. So cool. I see a lot back there. Maybe we'll take a walk back on the other side too. I'm still not to that two-story building that I wanted to check out. All right. So that lot just went to somebody else's residence. I could probably spend all day here. Padilla Park, Silver King Plaza. This is on the way to that other building, so there's some restrooms back there. You can relax, let your kids play. I see some signs in there. Maybe we'll walk inside here, see what these signs have to say. I know there's a historic state park back here too. Padilla Park, town of Florence. It's on the back side of this two-story building that a resident, Mike, told me about. There's some information. Oh, here's a picture of Florence back in the day. Open day and night hotel. I think that is this building we're going to look at. It's Come over here. Yeah, this is it. Florence Hotel. Check that out. Those old cars. A lot of stuff from the 1880s they found while digging around. Some more of the Florence Hotel. Cast iron, stove door. Well, here's a map of the original. I like to see those. Taylor, vacant dwelling. Court Street. It's the earliest map of Florence. Sanborn map. 3 buildings on Block 78 and the Florence Hotel on Block 79. Okay. Interesting. Let's see if I can find the plaque and then we'll walk around here. All right, hopefully you can read this. But this is the Silver King Florence Hotel. I'll give you a view of it in a second, but I want to read this sign. So it was built in 1876 and renamed the Florence Hotel in 1890. The Florence Hotel was a social focal point offering the finest in dining accommodations. So fire destroyed a portion of it, it looks like, and replaced by the 2-story fired brick east wing. All right, so let's take a look at this. Look at that stairway going up to the top floors. Let me cross the street here. The Silver King Fur Marketplace. Just imagine people walking back and forth, getting ready to come eat dinner at a nice restaurant here. Among other things, I can imagine drunks getting thrown off the balcony. It was a hotel, so who knows what happened up there. This is around the other side where we were just at. Take a look at this, the back side here. Let me come this way so we can get a better view from this angle. Yeah, it definitely has that old school feel. Across the street from here is the historic park I was talking about. It's pretty early in the morning, so I don't know if I'll be able to get in there. But yeah, you can check out these little Juliet balconies in the back, just for show. That's cool. I like this. Maybe I can walk up these stairs. Looks like business is in there now. Get a close-up view of this adobe. Or these bricks, I mean. I like this old work. It's the old mortar work, repairs. Oh, maybe I can go up here a little bit. Nothing saying I can't. Looks like there might be some of the original posts here. I don't know if they're original, but I just want to come up here and get a little bit of a view along this wall. Check out those old metal decorations. What were those for? Wow, and they're all along the wall. Part of their old construction? Had to be. But yeah, this is kind of neat view. See what come up here. And then this is the park that was down below. And here is the McFarland State Historic Park. Like I said, it's pretty early. I don't think I'll be able to get in there, but we'll go check it out and see. So this was a cool little find. This building. So I appreciate the information from our local resident, Mike. All right, let's get over here. I'm gonna head back to the street and we'll see if we can find one or two more places to check out. Well, I saw this building. Streets are getting a little bit busier now because it's American Legion, and I saw a historic plaque on it. I wanted to see what this one was. Ooh, this one was built 1874, unplastered adobe. So changed hands to a country store, I'm guessing, Wells Fargo office, telegraph office, saloon, dining room. Boy, there's a lot of things. And then in 1944, it looks like it was converted over to American Legion Post headquarters. Cool. Let me see if I can get another view down here. And directly across the street is the McFarland Historic Park. I gotta say, if you have 3 or 4 hours and you like looking at old buildings, historic site, this adobe building, 1878, Snore and Anglo-American architecture. It was a courthouse in 1891, and then a hospital. And then in 1974, to preserve the property, it's really windy right now. Also, this is a courthouse, a lot of different stuff. River Center's down here. Yeah, I don't think they're open. Oh, it says open. See if I can take a quick stroll in there. See how much it cost. See if they'll let me film anything in there. Should be no problem. All right, let's check this out. $5 per person.
Welcome to McFarland State Historic Park. This has been a state park since 1974 when McFarland bought the building and he wanted it to be preserved as a state park. And so, but the building was originally built, if I could say that right, I tripped over my tongue, but it was originally built in 1878. And it was a courthouse, and it was the very first Pinell County courthouse from 1878 until 1891. And where you're standing, where you came in, is the sheriff's office, the former, that's why I wear my badge. I'm the sheriff. And these men here were all sheriffs that served out of this office. And there was a very historic gunfight between this particular sheriff, who was John Gabriel, or Peter Gabriel, they call him, and Josephus Fye. And Fye was the deputy. He wanted to kill Gabriel. And what happened was, this account says that it was an old political feud, but we have heard other stories that say it was over a woman. We're really not sure what happened, but I think there could have been a combination of things, because I know Gabriel fired Fye at one point for mistreating a prisoner. So it could have been a combination. I think it was a combination of things. But the fight did ensue down at the Tunnel Saloon, which was down on Main Street. And he wasn't coming out. So finally he went in after him. And the fight broke out. The gunshots put the lights out first, and then the fight ended up spilling into the street. There was 13 shots fired in all, and what happened was, well, he was the one that was mortally wounded. He ended up dying about midnight, but Gabriel lived another 10 years. He recovered from his wounds. And while he was dying in the street, though, a friend of his came up and leaned over him, and he said, "Phi, how bad are your wounds?" And Phi lashed out at him with a Bowie knife, and he cut him above the knee to the bone on the leg. And so he had kind of a rough day. This was the Wild West, and we never did get a movie out of that one, but it was a very notorious fight back in the day, so it was quite a thing. Anyway, this mirror that's in the next room, that we believe came from the Tunnel Saloon, and we believe it was from their gunfight between Gabriel and Phi. And so there's the story right next to it, the shootout at the Tunnel Saloon, and then someone had drawn a picture there of what they thought that was like too.
Cool.
Isn't that neat?
That is neat.
So we believe that was the bullet hole from their fight,
and repaired it and
yeah, just taped up, and
is that a picture?
And then they framed it. No, I don't know what that's of, but yeah. But this painting or drawing, I should say, down at the bottom, somebody did that, thinking that's what it probably looked like. That was their depiction of it. So I could move this little suitcase if you want to get.
That's okay. So it's 1963 is when that was drawn?
That's what it looks like, yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So.
That's really cool. I like that old dress too.
Isn't that neat? I know. Isn't that cool? And this one too, somebody donated this. It was just somebody that collects antiques and stuff, and she donated these two like purse things and the dress. And I think that obviously that dress would have gone over something else, but I don't know if it was from a wedding or if it was just a fancy little lace top.
That's nice.
Isn't that neat?
That is really neat.
Yeah.
I like all these old pictures.
Yeah, and that's of this building at one point. But you can see there's the porch, and actually building went further out, it looks like, when you look at that picture.
Yeah.
And there's some more pictures of the building. And then a couple of rooms up, you'll see one with a nurse on the porch, because this became a hospital after it was a courthouse.
Oh, I saw that on the plaque.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that on the plaque.
It was a courthouse from 1878 to 1891, and then it became a hospital from 1891 until 1938. So it was quite a while. It was a hospital, almost 50 years. And I did have one man that came through, and he said my grandfather had his leg amputated here. And he also said when he walked into the courtroom, he said, my mother was in a hospital bed right over there, and he says, I used to come in that door and come over and visit her. And it's the first account that I had. I knew that it was a hospital, but it was the first account firsthand, that I heard. And so anyway, this was our second courthouse after we were for 13 years, and then this was the second courthouse. And that was built in 1891, and that has the clock tower on it. It's down a few blocks down, and they ran out of money, so they didn't have the money to put the the inner workings in. So they ended up painting the time on. We don't know why they painted the time. To this day, it's still painted on.
Wow, I have to go look. I've seen that building.
Yeah.
I actually have a night picture of it.
Yes.
So I'm going to go. I did not know that.
Yes, they painted the time on. It says 11:44. It's right twice a day. So we don't know why they did 11:44. We don't know if it happened to be when they made the decision, we're going to paint the time on, or if they just wanted everybody to come through town that think it's lunchtime. We don't know. We're just guessing at that. And our jail, this was the sheriff's office, and the jail was in where our gift shop is today. And that looked like that over there. I'm kind of mixing you up a little bit.
I'm going to pause just a sec.
It was in where the gift shop is, and it looked like that. There were two cells on the left side, and there was the entry hall that went in. There was a lynching in that hallway. Two men had been lynched in there. I don't know what the issue was about, but there was a lynching in there. There was another time there was about to be a lynching. The person that was on duty was a dignitary from town, and he decided, what am I going to do, you know, with this now? So he ended up calling Fryer's wife, and she came down, manned the office, and he armed the 4 prisoners that he had. He sent them upstairs, and from these 2 upstairs windows, they held off the lynch mob. They had their guns pointed out, they stayed in the shadows, and 50 men rounded the corner from Main Street. And they started coming, and they were told that there was 4 lawmen upstairs. So they just scattered, and they never did return. But the men held vigil all night long to make sure they didn't come back. In the morning, 3 of the 4 men turned in their weapons with no problem. The 4th one had a little bit of an issue, but he did turn in his weapon and went back in the cell. He was the one found guilty of murder, and the other 3 were found innocent. So they would have killed innocent men, and you know, thank God that the guy did that. He did get in trouble for arming them. You know, obviously you don't arm prisoners, but he probably saved his own life and those lives of those guys. So, you know, turned out it was the best decision, but might not have been right in the eyes of the law. But
Are these original bars or?
no, this was what it looked like here. It looked like the square that's in the diagram, and very heavy steel, you know, bars that they had just brought that whole apparatus in.
Okay.
And so anyway, we have the little kids or anybody that wants to put handcuffs on, they can put them on and take their pictures behind bars, you know, the photo op.
That's nice. I've been recording like that.
And you can see the pot that's on top, that would sweat, and that would get all that burlap wet. And then anything that was inside, that was their little refrigerator. That would be how they kept their food cool and kept it from
And I
going
noticed
bad.
at the bottom of those legs they have cans.
Yes, yes.
Was that to keep the bugs?
I don't know.
Because I know when I
Maybe. Yeah.
when I was a kid, we lived out in the desert, and my bed was outside.
Uh-huh.
We didn't have a lot of money,
Yeah.
so my grandma had my bedpost were in coffee cans full of water.
Yeah.
I think what it mostly did was keep the scorpions from climbing up.
Yes. And that's probably exactly what.
That's
yeah.
probably what it was. So
Yeah.
that was interesting. That
Isn't that neat?
yeah.
Levi and Flora. We think Flora was short for Florence, and so that would maybe where the Florence name came from. But in 1866, he founded Florence. So that's
Nice.
That's him.
Yeah, that is neat to know.
I
That
didn't
old
know.
lamp
And
looks like
that's
it's
Saguaro and Choya.
Saguaro Choya.
Yeah.
I didn't even know they existed.
Yeah, that's what that's made of. Yep.
Wow. Awesome.
And so then this, as you come up through here, these closets that we use as closets was the vault.
Let's check out this train set. You can see here it was donated. It's donated. Please do not touch. I agree. Well, there's a lot of good detail. This is like a typical Western town back in the day. Stagecoach. It's not Florence, but it still gives you the typical Western layout. Yeah, I saw here outhouses at a park. Stagecoaches, horses tied up to the saloon. Playground for kids and a tree. Wow, he did a really good job. Oh, looks like, okay. There's a picture of a church, and then he replicated that. Nice job. Livery stable. And check out this lamp. Saguaro and Ocotillo skeletons. Amazing. Here's another little plaque of the shootout at the Tunnel Saloon that Tanya was talking about earlier. How nice is she giving us a tour like that? Oh, and she also pointed out this old record player is a disc record player. Edison. And then these are some of the original records, they call them, the disc records. Echo all over the world. 4th of July at Florence, 1882. All right, let's take a look back here. First, I wanted to show you this, this old safe. It's kind of the ones, big heavy-duty ones that would be on top of a stagecoach if they're carrying payroll or maybe some gold dust or gold from a mine somewhere. Then you had this old safe down here as well. And a lot of this stuff is donated. So this is the inside of the original was a courthouse built in 1882. The county vault was connected to the county recorder's office by a strong metal door. So they transplanted that to the new courthouse in 1891. All right, gets a little bit dark back there, but we'll do what we can. I'm gonna go real slow. So this is a lot of information about the POWs that were held here during World War II. POWs were held here. Germans, Italians, Austrians. A lot of goings on here. Looks like they had orchestra. And they would go out and pick cotton. And if they signed a document, they were able to walk around and do work without having to wear the prisoner of war uniforms. There's something else I want to show you right over here. Let's take a look at this. Prisoner of war, date of capture. Karl Durst, Flight Corps, German Air Force. Wow, and there's a picture of the eating dinner, some of the prisoners eating dinner or something. Looking pretty healthy. I want to show you this picture. This picture was painted by a German prisoner of war, and he printed it just after the war had ended with Germany, 1946. And that is a picture of the Superstition Mountains. There's an old U.S. government property. We call them cruise boxes, but it is a strong box of some sort. There's a cruise box there. Post headquarters. Well, I'm wondering if this POW camp that was here was kind of like the original, maybe like the origins of Florence and the prison. There's a lot of prisons here, so I'm wondering if that had anything to do. The storm. Here's a map of all the states that had POW camps in them during World War II. So you can see Arizona had, southeast Arizona had some pretty good camps. And they also had some camps from the Japanese internment camps too, were in Arizona. From the American citizens that were interned with Japanese descent. All right, well, let's take a look. We'll take a look at the next part of this. Well, I'm going to look at this plaque here real quick. This is County Treasurer's Office, 1878 to 1891. I see coming here, and this plaque tells us this was the county attorney's office. When the courthouse converted to a hospital, it is the first office. All right. So this was when a baby was born. This is where they would keep them. You can see it screened to keep flies and mosquitoes probably off of them. And check out this. Oh, look at these braces. That's for a little kid. Wow. Registered nurse bags. Oh, the RNs. Oh boy. Any idea what was in that bottle right there? What does it say? And there's some old pictures, the original. There's some kids hanging out in front of the courthouse. I guess the hospital at that time. There's so much history in this building, and we'll take a look outside too. And this old chair, exam chair, no comfort there. All right, let's go take a look back here. This was the Pinell County Courtroom, 1878, 1891. Let's take a look around. Oh, look at this old stove. There's wood burning. Wow. Some of the McFarland heirlooms. Wow, look at those old collars, hats, shoes, spectacles, they called them at the time. It's really dark. I'm gonna have to go really slow, hopefully. I'm gonna be quiet, see if you can, I'm gonna come over here, see if you can hear that wind blowing through. See if I can find where it's coming from. Gives a little bit of a creepy feel with that wind blowing and howling outside. All right, let's keep going on our tour. So let's see. Father of the GI Bill. Toward the end of World War II, McFarland and others in Congress began to consider how to best care for soldiers returning. Get a little better view here. Returning from war in an effort to provide the soldiers. I did not know that. Wow. That's very interesting there. Look at this old desk. Wow. I like how they give you an overall. It's like they have these chairs lined up, so if there was a court hearing going on, you have you could sit back here and watch it going on. It's pretty simple, huh? Couple desks. Ballot boxes. Very well done. It only costs $5 to get in. Well worth it, and you get a nice little tour. Check out this. Get better angle so there's no glare. Kind of like an old law library. American Decisions, Pinell County. Awesome. All right, there's one more. Oh, look at this old piano. Please do not touch. Oh, good thing they put that there. I was about to try it and see if it worked. I will not do that. All right, there's one more thing I want to check out. It was where the old jails were. And I'm going to take a quick little look in there. I just love this old building, this old windows, clear story windows above the doors. But yeah, I'm going to go check out the old jail, so we'll pick up there. Where the old...
Yes, I loved it.
Little recap, this is where the old jail
Anyway,
was.
well, it was very nice talking to you,
You too.
and enjoy Arizona. I've enjoyed it for a long time.
I will. And you know, if you want some literature in here, we've got plenty. So anything you want.
All right, let's go take a look in here. There's not a lot of room for jail cells, huh? So you can see all the souvenirs you can get. Huge difference. Oh, there's a lot of neat stuff over here. Birdhouses. Birdhouse made out of license plates. That's cool. 2013 is the stamp on there. Oh, here's another one. So this guy does this. There's one out of the copper plates, a historic plate. Soaps. Nope. The floors are kind of creaky when I walk around. Everything, the tables move. Wow, there's a lot to get in here. Yeah, I would definitely come in here. Oh, little bars in the window. And here's some more license plate art. You get a license plate made out of other license plates. That's creative. That is very creative. All right, well, I think that's going to do it for here. I'm going to head out and see if we can't go find that old saloon. She gave me, Tanya gave me a map so I can try and find it, and I'm going to get a little bit of footage around there too. So that'll be kind of cool. All right. Well, let's check outside. There's something neat to see. That's cooler too. That wind is really howling. But this is like an old refrigerator that Tanya was talking about. That they would have this burlap sack on top, and they would have something on top that would drip water down. So it's kind of like an evaporative cooler. So that burlap would soak in the moisture, and as the wind blows through it, it would cool it off. So you could put maybe something in there you want to keep cool, and that is an amazing idea. And in the desert, that's how you would cool things off back in the day. And also, we have burlap wrapped, where you could put water inside here. And as that burlap would absorb the moisture and then evaporate with the breeze blowing through, would cool off the contents of that jar inside. I remember it. Here's a plaque. The Aweigh early water cooler. Cool. I remember when I was young, we had an old, and they probably still make them, a canvas water bag. And we would just fill that up, put it in the front of our truck, like just outside the radiator, so the wind's always blowing through it. And when we would get some water out of it, it was just like drinking water out of a fridge. It was so cold. And that's what that reminded me of. And these are adobe molds, where they would put the adobe mud inside to get the shape. Oh, look, there's Clarence Lewis House, 1930, paw print. So different years that it was made. You can see the different types of construction, the way they made them. 1891. Cool. Let's see what we have over here. Territorial courthouse. It's an old desk or something. All right, let's walk around the courtyard area for a second. Look at this old rocking crib. Keep the kids. So I think this is where she said that they kept the, now it's archive stuff, but a lot of the books, library, Ernest McFarland Museum, Library and Archives, public welcome. Let's take a look over here. So it looks like an old slab, and if you know me, what's the first thing I'm gonna do? It's going to be looking for a date in this slab. See if somebody inscribed a date. I don't see it. There's an old fireplace. This is concrete, it's not adobe, but here's some old adobe that was still here. How dare them not put a date in these concrete? I will have to ask what this slab was. Maybe she told me and I just forgot about it, but I'll ask her as I'm leaving to see what this is, or was. And these new buildings, restrooms. And here's another view. Very pretty. This is cool. I'm glad I came in here. So glad I did. All right, I think that is going to do it. And place. Tanya was super helpful, and I appreciate all the information. I asked her about that slab and that fireplace, and we're not 100% sure, but we think that it was probably, I'll come over here, probably like a laundry area for when it was a hospital. I mean, she thinks she is, but she wasn't 100% sure. But that makes sense. And it's also supported, this museum is supported by the Arizona State Parks, the town of Florence, and the city of Commerce. Is that right? Did I say that? I'm not sure. But they're here too, so they help support. And your $5 $5 really goes towards building maintenance. So that was all super neat. All right, well, I'm gonna go try and find that tunnel saloon, building mini museum. So I wanna go take a look inside. Vintage antiques, new to you, hidden treasures, collectibles, and sweet peas, and hidden treasures. All right, wow, this is really neat. That old-timey with pink and white stripes. Sweet peas. And they are open. All right, let's go see if we can get a better view of it here. Straight on shot. Yeah, Sweet Peas Candy Shop, Gifts and Creations. All right, let's go take a look. Check this out. They're gonna show me, this is the tunnel that leads over to the tunnel saloon. And I didn't think I'd get to see this. Oh, wow, check this out. How amazing is this? Wait, you're okay.
So you're in the W.C. Smith building basement. It was the oldest building built with the courthouse with the clock. He's the same architect that built this.
Oh, really?
Yes.
And then this.
So this is where they used to hide during Prohibition, play shuffleboard.
Ah.
And then if they were going to be raided, they would head out to a brothel across the street or the Silver King or one of the other saloons and head out, and thered be places where they could get out on the other side.
Ah,
Here,
wow.
let's go turn one on here for
It's
So the architecture of the building is beautiful.
so these are the shuffleboards that they played during Prohibition.
I'm not going in there.
It's scary, huh?
Scary.
Wow.
Oh, in there? Oh, I'd rather go there.
Okay, I'll walk around this way.
So there's the other tunnel. You can see when they poured the road, it sealed it off.
Okay,
But this is, you can really see all the actual structure in here of the wood and the archways.
so this went across the street, and then when they paved the road, they filled it in. Okay.
Around.
And these like the original rock
Yes.
structure?
And so that's the candy store over there. So we're underneath the thrift store only. The candy store
Okay.
has no basement.
Okay.
And then back when it was first here, they were using it for the storm to get off of the ice chute. And then we have all the hooks that were kept from the original. And they would put it down the ice chute and make this corner over here. That's why it's all stucco, to keep it
Yeah.
cool, everything cold in here.
Right.
You can see that.
Oh, you know what? Is there like a storm cellar door up there?
No, that's
Oh.
my back warehouse.
Oh, okay. Because I saw a building that had a storm cellar, like an entry into it. So this
So
is
you
just,
can really see that, all the structure of everything. So we keep our Christmas decorations.
okay. Wow, this is neat.
So so the doorway over here, when
Okay.
it was the Greyhound, it was one of the only stops between Tucson and Phoenix
I
where
knew
there wasn't a gas station, like you could just get out, get something to drink, buy smoke, whatever. So when it was raining, this doorway here is a flight of stairs that comes up into the parking lot, so they could usher them down into here, and they could hang where it was
Oh,
raining and stuff.
I see.
And so all the old doors for the Greyhound, there was one up there, but the rest are right behind you, those cream ones.
So these are the
broken.
original
Greyhound
doors
bus
for the
depot doors, yeah.
Greyhound bus depot doors.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you. I'm glad they've kept those. So cool. I didn't think I'd get to come down here and see this. But this isn't that. So, back in the day. Oh. And we're back out into the store. Wow, that was amazing to be able to go down there. And we're gonna go check out this little mini museum they have on the wall. Check this out. That was so nice. And her name was Paula. She's the owner of this establishment. And okay, thank you. Check this out. She's telling me that she lifted this book, shows the original, and well, you can see that. Some pictures of the building back in the day. So she found it in this book, this old book, and left it open for people to see, part of this museum. The Florence Market. Main Street program, parking.
I was at a school district for 11 years. Then I left and went to the college classes.
No picture printed on canvas. And check this out. I don't have a lot of room here, but it's an old Tiffany window.
Yeah.
And it's covered.
Yep.
Wow, look at that.
Ooh, the New Year for carnival night.
That is so cool. I think the big pane is gone, but oh, maybe it's still in there. Well, and then this over here, and check out this original Greyhound bus station door. It's from the building when they had a bus stop here. And that's what she's saying before, when they didn't have shelter, so if it was raining, they'd have to huddle the people downstairs in the basement. So they had a door leading directly down, and that's where those doors would have been. And let's see what they have in here. All sorts of freeze-fried candy. Wow, a lot of sweets. Oh, and they have some neat sodas over here. Cool. Nice Christmas display. All right. Little viewing area while you're doing your shopping, so the kids can be entertained. And then in here is it's kind of like a thrift shop area. A little bit dark, but really neat. Awesome. All right, well, let's hit the road. Yeah, the owners of that were really nice, showing me how to get from that side of the street with that tunnel we talked about, went under Main Street and over to this side. So I'm thinking that Tunnel Saloon is over here where that gunfight was. But they were super nice, and if you're in town, make sure you stop by. Check out their little hidden treasures shop and their sweet shop over there. Right, so let me see. I found this is an old building. Here's a historic site. 1870 commercial building was built on the corner of Main and 7th. So this is the best example. This is the most intact of the 4 remaining untransformed examples of the adobe-walled, earth-roof Sonoran traditional buildings, which still stand on Main Street. Cool. So, I believe this is, I'm still going to do a little research, but I think this is the bar. All right, well, I think I solved the mystery. I wasn't sure if that was the Tunnel Saloon or not. So I went back to the state park, and Tanya, the assistant there, she actually made a phone call for me to find out a little bit more. And it turns out that that building with the balcony right there, that is the site of the original Tunnel Saloon. So it's been renovated, demolished, but they said that's not how it looked back then, and I saw pictures, that's not it. So they have something new there, but that's the site. And if you look down the way a little bit here, see if I can point down here somewhere, that's where the tunnel was. So the tunnel must have went underneath all these other stores into that tunnel saloon. So, well, at least now I know I can go to sleep now. It may have been more effort than it was worth, but I had to know in my head. I just want to know if the correct history. So with the help of 3 or 4 locals, I think we got it figured out. But anyways, I'm gonna, wow, windy. I'm gonna make one last trip over to the courthouse, which you can see off in the distance. So I'm gonna get in the truck and drive over there, and we'll see when I will see you when I get over there. This is the courthouse when it was moved from the McFarland over to here. Now, I did not get a Milky Way picture here, but I got a night picture, and it's probably, I don't know, probably from probably this angle, something like that. But yeah, so this is when they moved it, this is where they moved it to, and you can see it's all decorated for Christmas. And you can also see, I never knew, we learned at the museum, 1145, that is where they painted on the time. They ran out of, they could never get the funding for the clock, so they just painted it in originally and just left it. That's funny. That is funny. But yeah, this kind of has that old school, old town feel. I really like it. And I think the picture I got turned out pretty nice. I'll show that one to you. And there's a pretty picture. Wow, what a day. I had no idea that I would be here for this long, 3 or 4 hours just looking. And I did not get all the buildings, I know. But that's gonna do it for today from the historic Florence, Arizona. And just remember, never say goodbye, always see you later.